You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
Oh, you didn't know? Yes, it is.
Welcome everybody to the Hot Tag, your official Q&A show.
Oh, you messed it up.
No, I'm still going. I'm getting beat up. There's a guy in the corner.
I'm
He's
trying to
getting me.
make the Hot Tag.
I'm getting. Oh, there it is. Brought to you by the Official Wrestling Museum. We are your hosts. I am Angel, and I'm joined by the Official Wrestling Museum's Hall of Famer.
Whole life.
And we are here this week answering your questions. We thank you guys so much for sending them in. I know you have something that you want to get off your chest because it's literally on your chest, and we can pay respects. That's
you
fine.
said no one passed away this week. James Earl Jones. James Earl Jones.
Yeah, no, he was a really big. I know you're Luke, I'm your photo guy, voice thing,
Yeah,
but
he was Darth
he
Vader's
he
voice.
honestly did a lot
He
in
did
the
a lot.
acting world.
He did a lot more than just Darth Vader. He was
No, that's what I just
a
said.
legend.
No, he really was. And our thoughts and prayers goes out to his family, his fans, his friends during this tough time. And thank you for all the memories that you gave us along the way. Speaking about along the way, RI Comic-Con is coming up, and we're in the midst right now of Wrestling Week. They just announced Mick Foley is now going to be there. They also have the Nature Boy Ric Flair. They have David Arquette. So if you take the WCW World title, it would be a great thing.
3 legends, right?
Well, yeah, all in Foley.
3 former champions.
3 former champions, that's right. And they got a couple of decent names still to be announced coming out. And TerraCon is coming up at the end of this month in Massachusetts. A really good group of actors and actresses are going to be there. Our camera crew will be there. Come on out, see us, meet us, get a picture, take a smile up challenge. Spread more smiles than hate in the world. And there's something else. There's something like in front of me. What is it? Do you remember? They were telling me something before.
The code.
The code, that's right. So if you take your phone out and you scan that code right here on your screen, you're going to help make a National Pro Wrestling Day. It takes only about 10 seconds of your time to do, and it's totally free to do. Just do a click, just sign up, and you're going to help honor all the greats in the world of professional wrestling joining the Rhode Island Pro Wrestling Day every year on June 13th. We want to make it a national day. Give us a hand, help us out. Now, we did have some people write in a whole bunch of questions. We'd have one all the way from France. Victor, Parlez-vous could be his last name. I don't know. It's some long W name. But he wanted to just give a little comment to us, and we wanted to just bring some appreciation all the way from France. He loves our show. He loves watching it each week on YouTube. Make sure you check out our YouTube channel.
Maybe when Stryker went over there for Backlash,
That's
where the connection
Did
came
you meet Stryker over there? He's a really nice guy. And he has a really neat autograph that takes about 27 seconds to sign. It's probably the longest autograph in the world. But he just wants us to know that he really enjoys our time when he watches us on YouTube, that you are a hilarious type of person, that I bring the unique items to the show, which I don't know how he knew I bring them, but maybe you bring them. Or maybe we have like Ben that sits over there, like that Ben right there. He might be bringing them in for us. But anyway, he just wants to know, do we know anybody that we knew worked for WWE, WCW, ECW, TNA, any friends, any colleagues, any persons, peers from the past?
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that they're my friends. I mean, I've worked like Mike Bennett, had some matches.
Yeah.
Some of my best, two of my favorite matches were with him. He knew what he was, he was good. Ivar was around with us. I mean, there's been a lot of people.
There are a lot of people. Sasha
John,
Banks came
John
from
Cena
this area.
Senior.
Official Wrestling Museum Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I don't know. I know Kofi was around. I don't know him personally. I mean, we've done some shows with him. I can't say I know him, but I have a personal love for that guy. Personal story I won't get into, but Kofi, Bobby Fish, same on that level. Eddie Edwards, oh man, I've worked. It might not look it. I've worked out with Eddie Edwards a couple times, and that guy is a beast.
Hey, working out at the burrito stand, lifting up that burrito.
No, this
especially as
guy-
like a 3-pounder. That's
This
a
guy
workout.
was. I mean, this guy was a beast in the gym.
But there was also a lot of other greats too, like King Kong Bundy.
Yeah, I mean,
Jimmy
we've done some
Neidhart,
shows- yeah, we've
the
done-
Nasty Boys was here. Jake the Snake was here. Bruce the Barber Beefcake. There was so many legends where NEWA
we
and
did a lot of ECW guys.
Between NEWA, RIWA,
Primal.
and then you had your off companies that followed them, were UCW, APCW.
Yeah.
These companies, they were taking a lot of names, giving fans that opportunity to meet them, to interact with them, to get autographs, take pictures with them, and all these guys share with them, their knowledge with us, and it was such a great feeling to be able to be a part of these companies that you had these opportunities to be in the ring or watch them, or possibly, if you were lucky, to get training from them before the show.
Yeah. Ken Doan was another guy that wrestled with us in NEWA.
Oh, yeah.
Kenny Phoenix.
Yep.
There's been a lot of guys that have come in. This area had some great talent in the early 2000s that went on to,
Yeah.
off the top of my head, those are the guys on the top of my head. There's been more. Brian Malonis,
Yeah.
he went on to do some work in the NWA with I can't remember the tag team name there, the Beer City Ballers or something.
Beer-
I apologize if I don't remember their name.
Was it? I don't know. Was it him? I think it was his tag partner. Was the one that was the 24/7 champion at Santa Claus.
I'm not sure.
It was one of the two of them. I think it was his partner. That was the.
Speaking of Santa Claus, Pierre the Mountie was Santa Claus when that
Oh, yeah?
famous clip when you see Stone Cold stunt Santa. That's Pierre the Mountie.
And so, New England really has that rich history of giving back. Over the years, it kind of got crumpled up by, if you can get a belt from someplace, get a ring from someplace, and you thought you were a promotion, and that just trickled throughout all of U.S. But
We're great
New
friends
England-
with all the Friendly Tap guys. The
Yeah.
APA beat up all our friends.
That is so true. And there's even a training card from WWE with that. Let's jump into our first question.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
He's got to get his spectacles out, folks, for this one.
I think this is the longest question I've ever read. I heard there was a new app WWE superstars can use to request a day off. Do you know if they have a limit or block out days they cannot ask for from Jackson? And how would I know? Dude, you know what?
Well, hold on.
Dude, that
So-
question is like,
Well, no, you know what?
Who
Because
is-
that actually shows that a fan cares about the workers and stuff like that. I would assume
that's a
there's
human resources question.
Well, you might be human resource.
Do I look like I would ever work for human resources?
Hey, if Low Life can get a job at human
Let's call
resources,
the
then you
company.
can make the benefits that you want.
Number one, this is the worst question we've ever gotten.
Oh my God, you
It's
and your
the
worst
longest
questions.
question we've ever
okay,
got.
you just don't like. Wow.
I'm asking another one. That's just,
Well, while he's asking, I'll say probably, WrestleMania, so probably have blackout dates, and I don't know if they have limits or not, but I really think it's a cool idea that they're allowing the wrestlers to say, hey, can I have this week off or this day off? I need to be with family or whatever the reason is.
look, here's a much better question.
Why? Because it's like 2 words?
Here's a much more simpler question from Chris in Smithfield, Rhode Island. Who was the best Chris in the world of wrestling? Much better question. Chris. Well, we know one Chris.
That's a better question.
We know one Chris that it can't be. We're not going to say that guy's name. But the best Chris in wrestling? I mean, Chris Jericho, Chris Gin Cage. Jericho got to be the best Chris, right? In ring, I think there's a better Chris, but I'm not going to give the guy the credit.
Yeah,
that he
I
deserves
agree
in
with
ring
you.
because what else he's done in life. But
You can't forget Chris Candido.
Chris Candido was fantastic.
He was good. Canyon,
Another great Chris.
Yep,
I mean, I got to go overall probably Chris Jericho.
probably. I would agree. If we're not going to give credit
Masters.
to the other one, he's a masterpiece.
No,
in his
I'm not
mind.
giving credit to. I'm not giving credit to the Wolverine there.
No.
Well,
ironically, but we won't go there.
right. Well,
All right, let's see who we have. We have
keep the questions like that coming in.
Alfred for Portland. Do you like what they are doing with Liv Morgan?
Yeah, I love what they're doing with Liv Morgan. I mean, Liv Morgan is my son's future wife. I think that she's killing it with her heel character. I love the whole angle they're doing. I love that now Rhea Ripley is injured because she has to be, because there's no way Liv Morgan can beat Rhea Ripley in a straight one-on-one because she's so small. Rhea Ripley is dominant, but now she has an injury to work through. So now it levels the playing field.
Yeah.
And Liv Morgan is doing great character work. Her in ring, I've never been that big of a fan of, but it doesn't matter because
she was always limited
Yeah.
on what she was able to do. If you watch her at the live events and any type of clips that you can see her training, she's really talented.
The crowd loves her.
With
She's great at
in-ring
crowd
stuff.
interaction.
Yeah, I'm really glad she's finally getting the credit and the TV time that she really deserves.
I think Liv, for me, because of the time she came up, she was like right after Alexa Bliss, very similar size, stature, look. So she was almost like a B-level
Right.
Alexa Bliss. But I think she's crawled out of that. And I
Yeah.
think also when she first came out, she was doing like the girl from Jersey character. I think she's found herself. And, I don't think that wasn't necessarily not who she was, but I think that she has found herself.
Saying about finding herself, though, not getting off topic, is Nikki Cross. She's really nailing this character perfectly.
Well, that's her, though. She's always
And-
done that character.
Yep, I think it's great. And she just signed, I think, another 5 years with the company, too.
All right, Tim from Soda, which I hate the word soda. I'm from Boston. It's tonic. So I'm
Tonic.
going to change this place.
You can't, how are you going to change a city or a
Because-
town? You can't do that. You're not no mayor.
He's from Tonic Springs, Idaho. What do you think of Jack Perry? And I think we talked about him last week. I mean, whatever. I mean, I don't think he's the best. I don't think I think he's fine. I think in ring he's good. His dad was a 35-year-old high school student in 90210. I loved that show back in the day. But I think he's okay. I thought that the Lucha Express, what were they, Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Jurassic
Not
Express.
trust- Yeah.
Mixing up.
Almost had
I
it.
thought they were a pretty good team, and I think that maybe at some point they could even
They'll
get back
probably end
together
up getting
somehow.
at some point, yeah.
I don't know. He's fine. I don't care about him one way or the other, really.
I think he came out of the shadows of who he was because of his father. I think he earned where he's at. I think he plays a great character of, hey, I'm going to run and be that sneaky heel. But like we said last week, he's doing it in AEW. And I think that's what's going to shatter his chances of going
Yeah.
any further.
I don't agree
You know what
with
I mean?
the whole CM Punk situation and I want to use real.
Well,
I mean, that's just stupidity.
That's when you go over and you're having, talent go into business for themselves and using a veteran to get over on them just to make themselves feel good. All right, let's see. Brian from East Providence. Who is the best Canadian wrestler out of Chelsea Green, Natalia, Sami Zayn, or Kevin Owens?
Oh,
How do you
man.
not put the Hots in there? Well, I guess Natalia, but still.
So the question, whenever you say who's the best wrestler, you can answer that in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Because
one's-
it's more than just the moves. Like, the one that draws the most from the crowd is Sami Zayn. Like, he gets that crowd going. Like, if you watched Raw last night, I mean, man, he's so over, especially in Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to actual, just the pure wrestling, I mean, that is really good. Obviously, it's in her blood. But I'm going to put Sami Zayn as the number one guy. Kevin Owens is great, too. Chelsea Green in ring is shouldn't even be on that list. Great character. Great character.
That's the thing. I would say this. If you were to build a new company today, and
Out
you-
of them four, I'm taking
and-
Sammy.
Well, not even out of those four. And you can have anybody you want from WWE, and you can pull from them. These are your top four picks. Not out of everybody they have, but if you want an overall show, these are your four picks. Natty is going to give you that straight wrestling.
You know that
Okay,
you know
off
what
the
you're
bat.
getting with her.
Chelsea is
dependable.
Chelsea's going to give you that entertainment level to that level of like, oh my God, they're pushing the bricks with her and it's working. Sami Zayn is going to get that connection with the crowd and his wrestling abilities, and he's going to put over his opponent with devastating bumps.
Kevin will get
And then
that reaction from the
Owens
crowd, just
is-
not to the level of
exactly.
Sami.
And Kevin's just going to bring that force, that
Yeah.
Those are your 4 things you look for when you're booking a show.
But who's your best though?
I would probably say out of this list, even though I'm a huge on Owens, I'm gonna go with Sammy just because he has that wrestling ability and he can interact and he can sell really great.
All right, Bill from Providence.
Oh, you got a typed one.
I typed one, yeah.
How nice of them.
Does AEW have a chance to compete against WWE? No, I don't think anyone does. I think that they have a chance to be an alternative, much like TNA did, but at the same time, they don't because they have people that get in their own way. They don't make the best decisions. They don't really know how. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know everything, but I don't know how to run a company. But there's just things that they do that you can be an outsider going, why would they do that? And I think AEW gets in their own way. I think they started off with too high expectations, thinking that they could fill these super arenas. You should have started off with smaller arenas, and also I just think that their heads were too high at first.
Yeah, I think AEW.
They signed everyone under the sun.
Yeah, their roster's tremendously big. I think I give AEW credit. They were giving workers work during COVID when nobody else was doing that. I give them credit for that. But their biggest problem is the guy that owns the company. He's a fan. He's not a worker. He's not listening to his booking staff because there's no way his programs are going to go out there and have the type of TV they're having with guys like Dustin running the show in the back, guys like Jerry Lynn.
You have Dean Malenko.
Yeah,
you have these. You had Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard. You
had
had Arn Anderson
all
and
these
Tully
guys.
Blanchard and Dean Malenko.
There's no way you're going to have TV like this. It's not going to happen. And I think that's the problem. And another huge, well, there's 2 problems with that question. WWE is the staple. It is the symbol of wrestling. So nothing's going to ever break it unless the company closes. That's one. And number 2, AEW does not care for their wrestlers' safeties. And it's clear by all the chair shots to the head that's unprotected.
The moves that they do.
The things they allow, and it's not that it's even done, and it's like, oh my God, we shouldn't have done that.
Right.
Next week they're doing it again, and somebody else is getting hurt again.
Who greenlit Edge jumping off the cage? No. So, and what you said about
having the guys get body slammed the other day and power bomb on cinder blocks.
You know what was
the paper bag over a face.
You know what was one to me that scared me was a few months back when they had a brawl and Powerhouse Hobbs slammed the Big Show from a up level through a car.
Oh, yeah.
It was so dangerous. And then even Darby Allin going through all that glass. I get the spectacle of it, but it's...
What about Darby Allin having...
What about Darby Allin in general?
Yeah, it's glued to his face. Like,
I
even if
haven't
he's like
watched-
outside waivers for you. No. If one of those went into his eye, like, it's just... The safety of AEW is just not there.
Right. I think also, what you said about Tony Khan is he's a fan. He books, okay, I want to see this guy versus this guy. The dream match thing is like, I'm tired of, I don't even watch AEW because I'm tired of hearing it's a dream match. I want to see these matches, but I don't want them thrown out to me every single week. I want them to be built up. I don't want to just see 2 guys wrestle for the...
Yeah.
And it's like, it's almost like what we said. They have Dean Malenko, they have Jerry Lynn, they have Christopher Daniels. These guys, their matches are all fantastic. And it's like, why can there be no psychology in AEW when they have these guys? Is the talent not listening to them? So I want to say that they don't have the infrastructure to be able to, but they do, but they don't use it. They have Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. Yeah. And they have Flair.
They just picked
You
up,
have the 4 horsemen.
Yeah. They just even picked up Glacier. Now, people might be like, well, I don't know about Glacier. If you really think about it, Glacier was the only gimmick that was truly over in WCW that stood out besides the war between WCW and NWO. You know what I mean? And he brought that element of you want to see what he's doing on TV to grab the people's attention, no matter what his ability was in the ring. So you have another guy like that you can easily do that with your talent in the ring. And what do you have? You have Moxley come out with a paper bag and put over Daniel Bryan's face.
Which is just
like it's stupid.
I don't know about the gimmick thing for Glacier, what you just said there, but I will say he did.
Well, who would you say? of all the gimmicks at that
In
time.
WCW?
In WCW that was running at that
Or
time.
Raven. We're going a whole different.
Well, yeah, the
I'm
Raven,
not.
but
I'm
the
just
Raven,
saying.
yeah.
I'm just saying. Even,
Right,
even more than
right.
that.
I get that,
With
yeah.
Glacier, he was like always in the power plant and stuff. I mean. so-
Yeah. All right, so we got Mike from Seacock, Massachusetts. Is it true that Bill Watts was the vice president of in WCW? Do you know?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
You know, when he got fired, Bill Watts, smart guy. I mean, I think Bill Watts was a smart guy. When he got fired, you know what he did off the balcony of the CNN Towers?
Was it the urination?
He
Yeah.
right off the balcony, old number one.
Yeah.
Bill Watts took a lot of heat for being a racist. I don't know. I mean, I think that there was a lot of good in Bill Watts. I think that there was a lot of behind the times with Bill Watts. But Bill
Yeah.
Watts,
I think the time that he went for WCW to start growing, they needed to get who they had already in line out. for
Bill
them
Watts
to be
was a
able to
guy
move.
who was definitely like the tough guys. You know what I mean? Like he would fire guys or fine guys if they got into bar fights and lost, or they'd fire them. And back in the Mid-South days and stuff. Bill Watts, interesting guy. I think his son doesn't get. Maybe the credit he deserves. He had a huge shadow to overcome.
Yeah.
Come on with these long questions. This better not.
You want people to write. Make sure
This
you guys
better not
write
be
in your-
another.
you
This
can
better
send
not
your
be another
questions in.
question about
Don't cripple the-
holiday pay for the World Wrestling Federation, or
entertainment.
did they get bereavement pay or something? All right,
That'd be nice if they did.
awesome shows. What did? Oh, thank you very much. Nags Head, from Nags Head, North Carolina. There's no name though. West. I don't know. Okay,
Must be a
awesome,
name.
awesome shows. What did you guys think of the team of Eddie Guerrero and Tajiri? I don't think they were no match for our Hardy Boys. All right, so I don't even know. Did Tajiri and Eddie Guerrero team up?
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't
They were tag team champs.
All right, Tajiri was coming out in the lowrider and he brain busted him on the lowrider, right?
At one, yeah.
Okay,
But they were tag team champions.
I remember it
Only for,
somewhat.
like, 2.5
It was
weeks.
just I remember it somewhat. I think it was okay. You had Eddie coming out with. I think it was something just to give Eddie for the time being or whatever. If I remember correctly, he was driving and Tajiri would be in the lowrider in the passenger seat, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I mean, there's not. I could if I didn't read that question, I wouldn't even remember they ever teamed up.
To be honest with you, when that was happening, they were only
And I love
together for a
Tajiri.
short period of time, and the tag run was only, I think, 2.5 weeks that they were champions. I think at
That's when
that
Eddie turned
time,
heel.
yeah, I think at that time it was really cool because Tajiri was built as his major Japanese superstar. Eddie was his major Mexican superstar. So to
Yeah.
see that together was cool.
I didn't think of
and I
that.
love the fact that it was so short of a run that it did that for me. You know what I mean? If it was anything longer,
yeah.
I'd be like, no.
I never thought of it in that way, but also Japanese stars in the WWF, they haven't really been able to do that. I mean, I know they did with Shinsuke somewhat, but they really, over the years, you've never really. Tajiri was probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jumping Bomb Angels were pretty good back in the day, but they were not near anything.
No. And even if they were phenomenal back in the day, they would never get the
Yeah.
credit that they deserve because back in the day, female wrestling wasn't
Right.
getting credit unless
And
you
in
were
fact,
Moolah.
Bull Nakano too, another
Yeah.
one. It's funny that the biggest Japanese stars were women, probably up until that point. But like, you could never put the Orient Express. One of them wasn't even Jap. Well, at the beginning, yes, with Sato. But I mean, Mr. Fuji and Toru Tanaka.
Yeah.
Two probably. I mean,
Well, you're burying yourself right now.
I know what.
You really just went off.
No, but
There's absolutely nobody, but now
Fuji
there's
was-
somebody.
But Fuji was like from Hawaii.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Well,
I love Mr. Fuji. We could do a show on Mr. Fuji.
you know what? We honestly could do a show on Mr. Fuji. Let's try to get a couple more questions.
Man, I can't
Make
believe
sure
this
you guys
show has flown by.
It really has. All right, Owen from Etna, Maine. Can you name 5 wrestlers that does not have an E in their name in under a minute?
Yeah, or you want me to do it? In under a minute, yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's what the kid said. Or
Okay,
guy
go.
said. I
You
don't
want me
know.
to do it?
Yeah, you do it.
All right, Goldberg, Hulk Hogan, Big Show. Yeah, I have a minute.
Are you just trying to buy up the minute?
Triple H. Well, no, he has an
No, he has an E.
Tajiri. and
If it's spelled right in America.
Taz.
Okay, all right. I give you credit for that. All right. Those are
We could go-
Those are his favorite questions, especially like the alphabet questions and stuff like
Well,
that.
that one was easy.
So make sure you guys do send in your
Oh no,
questions to us.
I said Goldberg. He has an E,
He does have an E.
so I still got time.
Are you sure? You counting?
Yeah. How about
Dust.
Shame? No, Amos Seamus.
Dust.
Who? Goldust?
Yeah.
Goldust.
There you go. So make sure you guys send in your questions to us via our website at
Are we doing one more?
theofficialwrestlingmuseum.com. Yeah, we'll do another one. You can do it through all our social media platforms. You can send it through our YouTube page as well too. You can even send a bird, have it drop it off outside the studio. We'll even answer that one too.
Matt from Cranston. How do you think Paul is doing running the WWE? Fantastic. I think
It has to be somebody from Cranston that said it.
I think he's doing a great job. I think the company is in a
Oh,
great
yeah.
place. I think that, when Vince McMahon came back, it set him back like 2 years. You would not see the product you see now.
Absolutely not.
You wouldn't have seen last night. The main event was Ilya Dragunov, Pete Dunne. You would have seen Braun Strowman because
Yeah.
he's the size, but you wouldn't have probably even seen Jey Uso. Three guys in that main event would not have been in the main event if Vince McMahon was around.
Yeah, he has actually stepped up. He has made the product
yeah.
great again.
The
You
women,
know what I mean?
you wouldn't be as prevalent as they are.
Right.
You would have probably never seen a main event women's match ever.
Nope.
And they've main evented. I have a problem with the main events of WrestleMania because now it's 2 nights.
Yeah.
But still,
Well, to sum that question up very easily, at the end of the day, you look at 2 things. Your talent is all talking good about them and happy to be there. And you know the talent is happy to be there because they're signing contracts.
They wanna
for
come back.
5
People
years.
that have left or
People
wanna-
that want to leave, they want to stay now. People, like you said, want to come back. That speaks volumes of what he has.
Mm-hmm.
And if the deal with TKO and WWE ever squash, if there's ever a time they let go of Paul, I can guarantee within not even a year time, Paul.
which is for
And I
those
can
Triple
guarantee,
H. So.
yeah, I can guarantee within a year time, he will be there, and that'll be the next immediately top company.
I mean, if,
Wonder what
you
he
were,
would call it.
if they were to S-can him, what would you, who would you, I wouldn't even, he's the guy, you know?
If they can him, your guy's going to be Rock because he's on the board.
Which I don't think Rock would be as good.
No.
You know, he doesn't have the knowledge.
You have a 2-hour show and only 30 seconds of non-Samoans.
Yeah.
And nothing against Samoans, nothing at all. But it was getting to the point that they were just shoving it down our throats, left and right, left and right.
Well, get ready.
And speaking about...
Get ready. Open that door up.
Yeah, and speaking about, because somebody also wrote a comment too about how Jacob Fatu isn't being held back. He just won the tag belts. Yeah, a guy can win a tag belt, a guy can win any belt, but in wrestling, if you are built as this big guy and you're this enforcer, and then they stick you in a tag team match, that's them holding you back. They need to hold him back because Soul is just not carrying the role. If we really, I think we talked about this the other night, Soul was kind of running like a family, right? The mob family, right? Kind of vibe with the bloodline, okay? You even have like that Tony D doing it down in NXT. You know who really runs the families the best? It's Escobar. He's the only one that looks the role, that speaks the role, and everybody that's around with him falls in line with the role. So when things are happening, you think, oh my God, somebody won a title, it's like the greatest thing in the world. But the talk is that this guy should be running the group. That's holding them back if it's not the top title. So do you think, I don't know if we're going to be able to get one more in. We're very close on time here. Thank you guys so much for sending your questions in. Check out Free Preview, Figures Are Us, Off the Ropes, and the 4 Corners this week. Make sure you take a Smile Up challenge. Spread more smiles than hate in the world. And you know what they say. You write in the questions.
Good ones, at least, and we'll have answers to those.
See you next week, folks.